What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over the latest updates, data points, and everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So NIO is up slightly 0.3%, 498 the low, 505 the high, but very low volume. So 17.3 million shares being traded. And so today overall is an odd day. So even though it's kind of quiet, it seems to be very much gravitating towards that $5 range, it still is odd. So for those of you that are new to the channel, I always like to break it down on where volume comes from. And primarily over the last month, I'd say possibly even 2 months, most of the volume has come from algorithmic trading. So even popping over here, so far only one transaction on the secondary market above $100,000. It was a buy for $105,000, but goes to show as well that big money and just institutions don't really want to do all that much with NIO. Even looking on the dark pool, we are seeing a little bit more activity, but based on the price action and what shorts are doing, it is fair to assume that hedge funds, oddly enough, are selling NIO. So there's a lot of weird things, as I mentioned, because there really hasn't been that much in kind of stuff to come out to justify institutions to be and hedge funds to be selling. And the reason why I can kind of tell that a lot of these transactions are sales is this right here. So at the time of doing this video, shorts are returning 2.5 million shares. So quickly popping over here, 17.3 million overall right now being traded. Like shorts are making up for a good chunk of the daily volume. And mind you, that 2.5 million that they are returning, that is just net. And again, for those of you that don't know kind of what this means, shorts returning, that's essentially them buying back the stock. So it does add buying pressure. So obviously institutions buying 2.5 million worth of NIO stock and it not really moving it up much, like it goes to show that then there's a lot of counter pressure, a lot of selling that is kind of keeping it low, which is again how I can kind of tell a lot of these hedge funds are actually selling. So $1 million question is why? So do they know something ahead of time, or is it just speculation? So that's definitely some odd stuff that is happening today. 7.65% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 155.86 million shares overall being shorted. DTC still is inching higher, so that's sitting at 2.83 days. Does really signal that shorts are rather overextended. So nothing really crazy coming out today, as I mentioned, from a macro standpoint or even specific to NIO. Unofficially though, there was a couple of things that did come out, both linked to Firefly, mind you, but Firefly won the annual contribution award of China's automobile industry best design of the year. So definitely good stuff for that. Other piece was this, just saying that Firefly deliveries have started in Greece. And so I think generally that was kind of a good thing. So most likely we'll be seeing kind of pull videos, I guess, of more beginning deliveries throughout Europe. So yeah, that's good stuff. I don't really think either of these kind of things are good catalysts, in my opinion, to really buy NIO right now. Possibly that might be because of why institutions might be selling. So let me know your general thoughts on that in the comments below. But looking at the options, 790,000 in calls, 428,000 in puts, and 52% of all the options being done are bullish in nature. From a bull standpoint, you see a kind of a consensus for it to be between that 5 to 550 by the end of this week, which mind you is a shorter week, as I've explained on the weekend video. But it does look like from a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be kind of $6 and above in, looks like, beginning 2026. One thing that did recently come out from UBS was saying that there is going to be more of a Santa rally of sorts. So a nice continued push higher in 2025 as well as 2026. This was their kind of reasoning right here, so feel free to pause it. But they are putting a prediction that this rally that we are starting to build on is going to kind of put the S&P to around 7,700. At the time of doing this video, we are sitting at roughly 6,800. So NIO could really move higher with the broader market. Again, most of the volume does come from algorithmic trading. So if the broader market goes to 7,700, NIO as a byproduct will kind of move alongside it. So that's where the bulls are feeling it is going to go. From a bear standpoint, you see flip side for January onward that it'll be sub $4. So clearly they are anticipating maybe them to miss on a lot of their key numbers for Q4. So let me know your general thoughts on that in the comments below. Right now with it at 501, trading simply between this R1 and the pivot. So 497 is going to be a strong support. Kind of bounced off that general area. So 498 was the low, and then 506 was the or 505 was the high, and then 506 is that next strong target. So kind of bounce off of that general area as well. So it's just simply trading between this R1 and the pivot. So kind of a boring day, if that kind of makes sense. Aside from that though, on the actual chart itself, it's still kind of wedge bound between that 10 and that 200-day moving average. Still, it tried to break past that 200, but unfortunately no dice. So 506 is that 200, so just watch for it to hopefully break above that in the next couple trading days. If not, then you are going to most likely see some level of consolidation. That's just normal anytime a stock tries to break above or even below a support or resistance point and it fails, it usually consolidates. So don't be surprised if tomorrow we don't get above that 506 for it to really start inching a little bit lower. Because of all the recent price action, you do see the stochastic RSI considered very overbought. So again, not necessarily the best, which again could be one maybe attributing factor why some hedge funds might be buying. We are nearing the end of Q4 as well, so a lot of institutions should be rebalancing, so you might be seeing some abnormal transactions, so I'll bring those up when I see them. But institutions will be rebalancing logically given NIO's price action in Q4. Those that have a fixed percentage, ETF for instance, or whatever, or a fund, they should be buying NIO logically because again, NIO underperformed the broader market. So yeah, let me know your general thoughts on NIO. Are you planning on buying more? Are you selling? Do you think either of these points are good catalysts, so them winning best design of the year or just delivery starting in Greece? What's your kind of general thoughts on all of that? And when it comes down to UBS, and it wasn't just UBS, JPM, I think they said 7,600 is their target. Do you think that we are going to be entering into a massive bull run? So some of the things that they did bring up is just solid earnings across the board on a lot of stocks. Obviously, potentially having cuts as well being one attributing factor. So let me know your viewpoint on kind of their stats on that. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid on-point buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. So I put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades, worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.